some circumstance or some person, but God takes it personally.
Good evening, Fredonia. You're listening to the Local Lowdown on WCVF 88.9 The Voice and WDVL 89.5 The Inferno. I'm Elena, your co-host and field interview lead.
What's up? I'm Jordan. I'm your other co-host, and I am the A&R lead and executive producer.
Hey, it's Sebastian, the production director of the Local Lowdown.
And tonight's show is brought to you by Fredonia Radio Systems in a group effort to promote and showcase the local music scene right here in Fredonia, but also West New York at large. Welcome to the Local Lowdown.
On this week's episode, we are welcoming Pinch Kitten. Hello.
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 We always like to start off by each of you introducing yourselves and your background in music.
I'll start. My name is Austin. I'm the guitarist of Pinch Kitten, and my introduction to music, I guess, growing up, I started playing guitar around 4th grade, and it was like on and off lessons, but I would consider myself mostly self-taught. And just my dad showed me a lot of heavy metal music when I was younger, so kind of translated into me becoming who I am.
Hi, I'm Koala. I grew up playing violin for my parents mostly, but because I liked it too. But it wasn't really my passion, and I always wanted to be in a band, but I honestly didn't think it was ever going to be a possibility. And then a couple years ago, my friend was selling their bass, so I was like, I'll just learn bass, I guess, because I don't know, we'll see how that goes. And then I was surprised at how much I immediately loved it, and also just how I picked it up easier than I was expecting. And partly, I think that's because violin translates to bass really well. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's it. I've been playing bass for 3 years now. Nice. Yeah.
I'm Calvin. I mostly do vocals, but we all kind of swap around and play a little guitar, a little bass. I started playing guitar during COVID. I was just watching what's his name? Marty Music on YouTube for people who know, beginner acoustic lessons and stuff. Mm-hmm. But me and Austin and our drummer, who's not here, would all meet up and quote-unquote jam. We were basically just making joke songs because none of us besides the Netties were very good. So we'd doing that for a while. And then, met Koala, and we're given the confidence to start a band. So I don't have as much background as the other members, but they kind of pushed me into it in a good way.
Hey, shout out Marty.
Shout out Marty.
That guy taught me my first blues chord progression.
He's just the sweetest guy.
Yeah, well, you kind of mentioned how you all met, but how do you feel like you developed the identity of Pinch Kitten through meeting and all that?
Well, I think it has a lot to do with me and Calvin meeting. And it also has a lot to do with our first scene. So me and Calvin, actually everyone in the band is simultaneously visual artists while being musicians. And me and Calvin met and we bonded over art. And we started drawing together, and we got the idea why don't we collaborate on a zine? So we started working on that. We started hanging out more, and then that's when we started talking about music. And Calvin told me about, because Austin and Ned are basically Calvin's childhood best friends, right? Mm-hmm. So, and they've been jamming since they were in high school. They they would just like get together and play music all the time, but they never had a bassist. And I was like, well, I'm a bass player. And I really pushed us to get a jam session with all of us together. And Calvin really wanted that to happen too. And when that happened, like me and Calvin were just like, we got songs here. This could be a band. This could be a band. Like, let's do it, guys. And then it kind of started from there. So we started jamming more. And my partner runs like this house venue called The Soup in Buffalo, and was very kind enough to lend us his basement for us to have like a practice space and a nice PA system.
Early days.
So yeah, we would jam at The Soup a lot, and my partner also runs shows and had a show coming up like 3 months ahead of time, like in 3 months from when we were like jamming, and he asked us to like, hey, do you think you could get some songs together for the show? And we talked about it, and we just like committed, and we're just like, all right, so we're actually gonna do this. Like, we actually gotta write songs, and
I was really
that all
worried.
the time. I forget that that's how it happened.
I was really worried.
It was literally
yeah,
like,
because we said yes before we had any
Yeah.
songs written.
Did that
Like,
Give
deadline
yourself
help
the due
you?
date.
Absolutely.
I think it
Yeah.
did. I didn't
Absolutely.
think we would be able to.
We would have never
put
played
it together in
the show.
time, but we somehow did. But like slowly, the songs have kind of changed a little the more we've been playing. So
How was it to, because you said that you also rehearsed at the Soup, right? So what was that like, always jamming at the Soup and then eventually having that crowd there?
Well, it was slightly different because the show was played upstairs. So it
Got
wasn't
it.
exactly in our practice space,
Oh, okay.
which made it different enough. But it was still like familiar. It was like our home, you know?
Yeah.
I love that venue, so.
Yeah,
that's
me
cool.
too. It's a great place. It's always just like a band of misfits in the house at all times. Yeah, there's like
I know what you're about to say.
there's like this one kid who was there at the time who had like a dog who kept like he kept like pooping in the basement, like on the drum
Specifically
rug.
on the drum rug
Yeah.
only.
And so, like, pretty much every practice
We'd
we'd
have
go
to
down.
clean up
and we'd be
poop.
like, oh, there's more poop. Oops.
Awesome.
But it was
The guy
just-
was like, it's a cat who's doing it,
Oh,
who's sneaking
yeah.
in, and we're like, this is no cat. This is
This is-
huge.
this is human
This poop is
poop.
huge.
This is human
Yeah, it
poop.
looks like human
yeah.
poop.
the last band's drummer was taking poops.
Is there a lot of bands that rehearse there, or
No.
You're the only
I
one.
Just
think,
like Trey's friends.
yeah, like Trey's band, or if one of his friends' bands is in a pinch, we need a space. For the most part, it's like just Trey's like spot. Trey is my partner who runs
Yeah.
the Soup.
yeah?
His like spot to practice and to have his band practices, because he's in 2 bands, Voice of Dissent and Some Kind of Nightmare. Shout out.
Nice.
But yeah, I think definitely me being his partner was a shoo-in for letting me use that space.
Fair.
Perfect.
But yeah.
Yeah. When you guys were first forming your sound, was there any particular influences that you guys all connected on? Artists or
Definitely
genres?
a lot. We actually have like a playlist on Spotify if anyone was ever interested in listening.
It's a really great blend.
Yeah,
Oh, thank you.
I've
each
listened
of
to it
us.
I
quite
was
a
listening
bit.
to it
Cool.
earlier.
Good, cool. Thank you. Each of us picked like 10 songs,
Yeah, I think so.
but I'm trying to think. Like Fugazi, Boris. What is that one?
Noise stuff.
Yeah.
Boredoms and stuff.
Boredoms.
I always
Sonic
blank
Youth.
on names. Sonic Youth. Nirvana. Definitely Nirvana. Well, because I actually like never ever got into
Koala's
Nirvana growing up.
anti-Nirvana.
Like I was like, oh, that's just like a normie band, like
Yeah.
whatever. Like I obviously heard some of their songs and I thought they were like, whatever, that's dad rock. And then one time I was at Black Dots, which is a record store in Buffalo, with Calvin. We were looking at the tapes and I was like, do you like recommend anything? Like I'll buy it, whatever. And he was like, oh, like Nirvana's Bleach, of course. And I was like, I've actually never listened to like a Nirvana album front to back. And he was like, you got to hear this one. And so I bought it and I literally just listened to it on repeat for like a couple months in a row. And they definitely rose exponentially. They were like
Yeah.
my number 1 artist last year.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
on Spotify Wrapped, and I love Nirvana now. I couldn't live without them.
Same.
Yeah, kind of nerdy, but
Yeah. I feel like the song Curly Sue has a little bit of like grunginess to it, even though
That's fair.
it's got like the poppiness as well, but
Yeah.
it also has like a lot of jazz influence, and that's definitely all from, or at least in part from Ned.
Yeah. He brings
Because-
so much to
Yeah,
it.
he's just a fantastic drummer
And
through and
Eddie's is
through.
our music bee.
Yeah.
He,
He solves every problem.
literally, if you want to ask that man anything about anything, he could tell you what bass.
Oh.
Yeah,
No, sorry.
he could tell you like I'm trying to think of the bassist name of Rush. I can't think of his name.
If Ned was here, he would know. He would be right on top of it.
Yeah, but he's like an encyclopedia of knowledge, and he loves all genres. He's really into musical theater, and
Oh,
he
really?
plays a lot
Everything.
of musical theater shows. So he's kind of our theory guy.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
He'll be standing there. He's like,
So if we-
play a G there.
We have a musical problem, and Eddie's is able to solve it.
He also he wrote the lyrics of Hippie Poems, one of our songs.
Oh, wow.
He's a great lyricist.
yeah.
He has a solo project that's like hip hop, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's really good.
Under
I
the-
checked it out.
Narix.
Under
yeah,
the name
lyrics.
Yep.
And what else was I gonna say?
He's
Yeah,
the brains.
He's the go.
Oh, yeah. But
He's a bass
stays in,
player
he's like,
too.
He's
he
reserved.
knows so much more than, I'll speak for myself,
He
so
just
much more than me, but he will never, he's quiet, calm in the back until I like ask for it, It's
Yeah.
like, well, maybe you could try this. And it's like, that's exactly what I needed
Yeah.
to do,
Yeah.
Wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you guys also go under the name Buffalo Barf.
Yeah.
which
Yeah, it's
we-
like our genre.
We got to get into that. What was the idea behind that? I mean, we've talked about cat poop
Well,
on the floor. Now Buffalo Barf.
Well, like how there's like so many genre names
Yeah.
nowadays, like for every like little intricate like subgenre like of punk and like
Right.
crust punk, like there's just so
Got
many.
egg punk.
Egg punk.
Yes. Sometimes it's useful, but I think I remember you being like, I don't love, like just plastering hardcore onto what we
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, that too. Like we
think
didn't
you were right to do
feel
that.
comfortable just being like we're a hardcore band because that feels very like putting us in a box
Right.
that
Right.
isn't us. Like majority of hardcore doesn't sound anything like us. To maybe like like the average person who doesn't listen to barely any punk might just label it all as that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so we were trying to come up with a genre like that we fit in, and we're just like nothing really fits, and we were just making jokes about like how many different names there are, and we're like Buffalo Barf. That sounds exactly what we are. Like whatever that is.
Yeah.
It's like nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just make songs.
Yeah, I
we
think it
just
kind
make
of
songs.
Barf out songs.
Yeah.
it like relieves some of the pressure too, because some of it's good. Like it's good to have a scene, I think, and it's good to have, you know what I mean, like boundaries and definitions for things. But at least for me, like I didn't want to feel like I'm hardcore, so now we have to like prove that we're hardcore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
yeah.
Like we just kind of, especially in the beginning, we're just getting together and just having fun with like the limited like amount that we could, limited experience doing this all together in a group.
Right.
So it was fun to just be like, yeah, like, we're just Buffalo Barf, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that serious.
Yeah.
Like,
Could you guys see yourself playing on a more hardcore bill? Like, obviously, Buffalo has a
Yeah.
great hardcore
We-
scene.
We often
We
do, I
have,
think, kind of
yeah.
out of
Yeah.
necessity. Like, that's just a lot of bands like that, like you said.
Yeah.
So we do. And it's fun. We played a lot of mixed shows, too.
yeah, but we
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
like we blend with almost any punk subgenre.
Yeah.
I would say like we've played like a hip hop hardcore with
Oh,
a
cool.
hip
That was
hop
awesome in
hardcore
Binghamton,
show.
yeah.
What's their name? Glitch.
Glitch, shout out Glitch.
They're
in
fantastic.
Binghamton. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Sebastian was at that show, right?
Yes.
Oh, there we go.
I was talking about it with them. Who is the? There was another band.
Wasn't
like
Amphet on
MLB.
that?
Amphet was
Yeah,
on
Oh,
that.
Yeah.
Amphet.
And then-
Yeah.
That was the
Syracuse.
only set I missed.
Yeah.
There's OBD too.
Oh,
Yes.
OBD was super
That's
fun.
what I was
Offbeat
thinking about.
I'll be,
Degradations.
Degradations, yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
Which was fantastic.
They were super fun, very friendly.
Yeah, the people of Amphet went to my high school.
Oh, no way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you're
That's
from
funny.
Syracuse?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm from Utica.
Oh, nice. Yeah. You kind of touched on it a little bit, but do you feel like kind of where you guys are with how you feel with genres and everything like that. Do you feel like there's a particular like set of groups that you like to play with live in particular, or do you feel like there are challenges in that respect at all?
I like playing mixed bills.
Yeah.
Because it reduces the, like, not the expectations, but, you know, there's just no, like, I don't know, we're not going to catch people too off guard. Or maybe we will also. Like the last show we played with a ska band.
Like a hardcore band,
And
ska
a skate
band.
punk band
Yeah.
and a hardcore band. So I like being with the Misfits, you know, like if we were to play like a strictly hardcore band, I don't know if the hardcore scene would necessarily welcome us with open arms, you know what I mean? Like
Gotcha.
when you go to like a hardcore show, like they're expecting a certain sound, I think
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yep.
I get
Yeah.
that. Well, I got to read this quote from you guys that
boy.
you posted for your first ever show. You described it as Buffalo's barfy, dirt glaze, egg rock, censor, metal, experimental, grind funk, fantasy violence, wizard core, grind adjacent, brutalist, baroque, queer death, funk, progressive sex, disco, country, Minnesota barbecue band.
That's exactly
Yeah,
right.
that's all
So-
of them, I think.
Yeah, I think you guys are doing all those
Yeah.
things.
I don't know
To
which
this
one is
day.
my favorite word out of all those. I really like
Baroque.
barbecue in there. I like Baroque in there too.
I love wizard core. That's great.
I like how close Baroque and barbecue are to
And
each other.
what was it?
Yeah.
Adjacent? What was it? Adjacent?
Grind adjacent.
Grind adjacent.
Grind is in there twice, actually. They do experimental grind and grind adjacent, which honestly, that makes sense. Like,
At that point, aren't you just grind?
All right.
that's all I had for that. I just had to
Yeah.
point that out to you.
Thank you.
I haven't
Thank you.
thought. I haven't like you reading it. Like I haven't heard that in a bit.
All right. Well, I wanted to turn a little bit. We've talked about it here and there, but you have an EP, Curly Sue. What was the inspiration for your debut EP? In particular, did you have any theme for it or anything like that?
I would say that it was kind of organic, and each song we've made has kind of been just kind of us riffing around and playing in like whatever sticks. But in terms of the album art, which Calvin created, I would say the title and the cover kind of closely align with the song Neo, Neolithic Talking Box. But it's kind of, I don't know, it's up for interpretation, you know?
That's a great song. I
Yeah.
feel like that one, when I heard you guys do that one, that really expanded the boundaries for me of
Oh,
like
cool.
what you guys could do. I'm like,
Thanks.
Absolutely.
if they do this,
you.
they can do a bunch of different things
Cool.
after this.
I feel like that's the overall actual theme of our EP is just like
Yeah.
how different our sound is and can be. We definitely we picked the songs that were most different, I think, for the 4-song EP, just to showcase all of our flavors.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we have like themes within songs, but I don't know, like the theme is just it was organic. It just whatever each song kind of had its own thing, and they flow kind of in between. They have to do with our lives at the time of writing them and feelings that were arising. So, yeah. I would love to, though, in the future, maybe do more of a conceptual, like, type of thing, like album.
I want to
Project.
dive more into wizard core.
Yeah.
I knew that came from you.
Yeah, I did also want to ask about the name Curly Sue itself. What was the idea behind that? Because I love that as a title, too, for the EP.
There was a big, long text chain of like, okay, everybody send out a
Suggestions.
name and
Yeah.
like you thumbs it up if you like it and you thumbs it down if you don't, you know?
What were some of those other names?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
curious.
man.
Remember.
There was
I don't
actually
even-
there's a moment that was really funny. I think Anetti's hadn't responded in a while. Like he had missed like a bunch of names. He finally put out like his first entry, and Austin said, "Let's call the EP." Anetti's is bad at making names. And Anetti's got super offended.
He
was
actually
very
got upset. I didn't mean to upset him. But
It's far back though.
There are
there's
so
dozens,
many
probably
funny
dozens.
ones. I wish we could just pull
But
it up.
then I think Austin might have suggested Curly Sue first.
I think
And I remember seeing it and being like, that is 100% it.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I think we all felt that way kind of.
So
We
you didn't
talked
have the
about it.
song yet?
No, we
Was that-
named it after
Okay.
after we named the EP. Yeah, we always just called
gotcha.
that Happy Song.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't really have a name for it, So
Yeah.
Curly Sue is.
I think I got
replaced it.
Curly Sue from Calvin's Drawing
Yeah.
because the character has curly hair.
That helped too. Yeah.
It looks like that
Gotcha.
character's name is Curly Sue.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you had the drawing first as well.
Yeah.
Drawing was just
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
something I'd done kind of on its own, and then we just. I wasn't gonna be like, we need to use this drawing, but they were
Yeah, I
like,
definitely encourage
we
that.
should
I was
use
like,
it, and I
That's
was like,
so fire.
okay, and then that helped. Yeah, I think with the name too.
Yeah, I think that was a great choice.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thank
of
you.
course.
Thank you.
So also with the EP, you recorded it with Jay from On the Cinder
Mm-hmm.
and with Flower House Records. What was
Mm-hmm.
that experience like for y'all?
It's great.
It was
Jay
awesome.
is fantastic. I couldn't
Yeah.
recommend him enough, especially for like punk albums. He's just so good at what he does.
Yeah.
Knows exactly what to say, at every moment. Like
He's
very
flexible,
professional.
though.
He's very flexible. Couldn't say enough praise about that man.
Oh.
He's sick.
How long did it take that whole process of recording?
This is with like everyone's schedules being kind of like, always trying to figure that out. Like I think it took a total of like 3 sessions, like 3 hours each. Like
Yeah.
it was not like pulling hair at all. Like it was super easy, I would say. As far as the recording
It was
process
pretty quick.
goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did like all the music in one, and then we did like 2 different sessions just for vocals, I think.
Yeah. Me
Yeah.
and you went there.
Yep.
Gotcha. Nice.
And then we added, what's that one like
Oh,
thing?
Vibraphone.
Vibraphone.
on
Yeah,
Vibra. Is it like Vibra Slam or something? I wanna
Oh,
say?
Vibra Slap.
Slap.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
So
there
Ned
we go.
has a Vibra Slap, and after we recorded the tracks already, he was like, I have a Vibra Slap. I just really think there's like a really good part in Neolithic that really needs it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, dude, like, I
that's my
guess.
favorite part.
We'll try it. And then like he came to the studio with me when I was doing my vocals for Sour Punch, and he brought it with him, and we're like, let's just do this. We added it, and I was like, that was so perfect.
I love the fake out ending for that because there's so many like blasts of noise on the EP, and like that one is just like it's a fake out, and then you guys do the spoken word stuff more, and then it comes back, and there's a Vibra Slap in there, so I can't.
So you gotta love it.
If you listen closely to that song, we were making animal noises in the background.
Yeah, it sounded like there was like
nice.
a door creaking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We had like tools. We were like doing a bunch of Foley like stuff.
We were having fun.
Yeah.
I missed that day. I remember I was away on a trip, and there was no day I wanted to be there more than this day.
Then
It
the
just
animal
sounded so
noise
fun.
day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you doing the vocals for that?
Yeah.
I gotta ask about the inspiration for this song in particular.
To be surprisingly, like as I was writing this, because I remember when it was just like messing around, like early on in the soup when we came up with the song.
Okay.
Austin was always just like, they'll just start playing something, and then everybody else just joins in, and it's like we're not even saying like let's go, like he just and he was just doing this thing, and like would stop, and then Qual joined in. And I really think that it was me that was like, we need to make this into a song. Like, we need to. Like, this, I just feel something so primal about this that's so good.
Yeah.
But so it still was like this kind of just over the top, like fun thing at first. But then I started to write stuff for it. And it, for me, it actually got very deep and like into some stuff. I think like just generally speaking, it's there's more specific things that are like specific to like my my experience, but generally it's about uncomfortability and self-centeredness in general, and like this idea of like getting disconnected from the people around you due to like a hyperfixation with your own condition, and that could be interpreted many ways, and but and then it was all kind of like on top of it. It was all placed in this setting of like an old farmhouse, and I grew up in an old farmhouse. Like a lot of my family like lives like rurally, and specifically my aunt, my aunt and uncle had this old house that was literally the worst house I've ever been in terms of like vibe. Like you just went to this house in the middle of nowhere, and it was just horrifying. I just remember being there as a kid and like just crawl into my skin. Some of the places like you just would not believe. And I love them, but they got out of that house because it was not working for them. But it was set in that house, and I just have always been, I think, really impacted and affected by environments and surroundings and atmosphere. And it helps creatively too, you know, like it just worked to set it in that place because that's a place I remember being uncomfortable, like emotionally, physically, like whatever, like so many different factors in that. But yeah, and then kind of this internal sort of like rage at that situation, and then just weirdness on top in the middle, you know, in between it all, the weirdness of the mind and being neurotic and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
So
That's a great explanation.
thanks.
I always interpret it as like a hillbilly, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre type family setting.
It's definitely got a creepiness to it for sure.
Yeah.
House was very creepy.
Yeah. I definitely imagine things getting like chopped up.
Oh yeah.
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 Yeah, not good things are happening.
Yeah. Is there any other like cool background stories to the other songs?
I think we each one of us wrote, except you,
No.
wrote a song on the
Yeah,
EP.
yeah.
I had Life
and on
Alert.
the- yeah, not on the
Life
EP.
Alert's not on the EP,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you wrote one, and Eddie's wrote one.
Yeah, and you wrote Neolithic and Happy.
Oh yeah,
I mean, Curly
Sue.
Sue.
Curly Sue. But
And
you did Sour Punch.
I did Sour Punch,
Mm-hmm.
and Eddie's wrote Hippie Bombs. Yeah. Well,
Sour
you-
Punch is great.
Yeah.
Thank
good.
you. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
It's like it starts so loud and just gets louder
Yes.
and more energetic.
Yeah, true. I think I love the guitar riff on that song. It just is so satisfying. I've had a very I don't know, kind of it's just interesting experience doing vocals because I've never sung before this in anything before. I was just kind of was like, I'm singing's not really for me. Like I'm not a good singer, but I'm like, well, screaming, yeah, I can scream. Like, who can't scream? I got that. So I've been finding my voice, and I've been so grateful for this band for giving me a place to put my voice. It's just been so incredibly fulfilling and meaningful to me in my life. So,
Absolutely.
I just want to comment. I remember at your show you had a song that was just meows.
yes.
What is that song? That song's not out, right? Or is it?
So that was actually Hairball, which we perform today.
Yeah.
And
I couldn't tell because I couldn't hear the.
I-
I couldn't hear the vocals.
oh, true. No, but
Yeah.
I didn't meow, so don't worry.
Yeah.
Do not worry.
I was we were trying to figure out the lyrics for that song for a while, and we tried, I think I wrote at least 3 different iterations of lyrics for it, and I'd always we'd practice it 2 practices or 1 practice before our next show, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna do Hairball, and I got lyrics this time, but every single time right before the show I'm like, I'm not confident in these lyrics, they don't work, I'm just gonna meow again, and it's kind of just been a fail safe. And almost every time I perform it, people come up to me I love the meow song.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I almost think people like I don't even know if we should have lyrics to the song
Yeah.
because I've heard this version with the lyrics that Qual sings and I really like it, but
great.
I don't know what sticks if people like the meows better or not.
It's
Yeah.
just memorable because I
Yeah.
went to I dragged one of my friends who isn't a part of the scene or anything, and she always she's always she was like, remember that meow song? I was like, yeah.
Man, that's so great. I don't know, maybe it's self-consciousness on my end of feeling they're not musicians aren't going to take me seriously if I'm just out here just meowing I got to do something serious, you know. So, I don't know, I still feel on the fence about that. Well, I'll see we haven't heard that song recorded before, so it'll be interesting to see it from this. And then maybe we'll see where the song goes from there. Or maybe I'll write another song where I meow on purpose. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I did just want to ask one more question about the EP. You all had mentioned how you were writing different songs for each. Was that an intentional goal to have each person have one song where they like kind of ran the writing process through that, or was it just kind of more natural in that way?
I think kind of both. Like indirectly, I think we always kind of want to like, you know, especially in the, it's like, okay, I just wrote 2 songs. Like we all love writing. We all love drawing, we, you know, just like being kind of this all-encompassing creative.
Yeah.
So it's like, we all want to do it. And
I want to encourage each other
yeah,
in it.
absolutely. So we've all written songs, except for Annette's. We've all been, you know, have done vocals. We swap everything around pretty much, except percussion, you know. So.
And when you guys eventually put out the EP, it was picked up by Noise Merchant Records. And
Shout out.
Nice.
cassettes are out there in the physical realm
Yeah.
in the
They
UK,
are.
right?
They are.
That was super
What
I
was
cool.
that
mean, they were
experience
shipped. They were shipped worldwide, so we don't even know where they are.
I know.
Oh, wow.
It was beyond exciting for that to happen, for him to like put us on one of his shows. I like discovered him through that and fell in love with his radio show. Like it's crazy. I don't know where he finds all these very niche, like deep cut, not on Spotify, not on anything
Yeah.
type of people. And well, I mean, maybe on something, but I don't know. It just, that man really inspires me. And I hope that he can come back, because he actually stopped doing the radio show in November. And I hope that it comes back, because it's
Yeah.
been missed by me.
Yeah. I've definitely heard of him before because I had been already following them for something. I think it was a different Buffalo band.
I know he had Science Man
Yeah. I knew it was,
and Besta Quadrata on some of his shows.
That's what I was
So,
thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, it's super cool.
He's such a nice guy, too. So easy to work with. Like, he's just great.
Koala's
That's
kind of
awesome.
like the talking person of the band.
Yeah,
So
the
if you're
PR,
ever,
like-
if you're ever communicating on Instagram, it's Koala you're talking to.
Yeah.
Yes,
Except
yes.
Ned does.
Managerial role.
Or it's Annette's, because he also has it like logged in to his phone. There's been times, I think, even texting you, Jordan, through Instagram. It's like I'll be in the middle of writing a text and then it'll pop up, like, because Ned texted from his phone. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that experience. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's like,
I've done that
whoa.
to Elena
Yeah.
a couple times. Yeah.
Makes you feel like you're losing it a little. Like, did I just type that? Wait.
All right. Well, I think we're about ready to head downstairs and transition to the electric set, our first in a while. So hope you guys enjoy it.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ooh.
All right, let's do it. You
Hello, hello. You can hear this? Mic is good? I have a poem. The fleshless skulls, they are my company. I break them night and day, depicted in my memory. Many were respected in the world for their talents, and others vain ornaments, who serve vanity, and it may, in eternity, be the cause of their torments. I stand in your tomb and hear the incessant chirp. You make noise when you move, like an animal hurt. The captured cry mutters, stacked eyes in a row. For a promise of heaven, your insides are shown. Now is an eternity, buildings must fall, and a graveyard of bones will see of us all. What resides in hard fragment lies listless until you decide to close your eyes, for a while be still. My body seems to sweep through doorways like trees, flooding with waters that rush by my feet. Sat in my stomach, swim in my lungs, captured by light and licked by hot tongues. Doesn't life just feel great? Doesn't life just feel great? Thank you.
Well, thank you guys so much for that set. We really appreciate it. Great to be back with another electric set this semester. We haven't done one in a while, and so glad that we got to have you guys on.
Thank
Us
you
too.
so
Thank
much
you
for
for
having
having
us.
You have an
Yeah,
awesome
Yeah.
space.
thank you.
Thank you.
We're
Really
so
appreciate
impressed.
it.
I'm
Yeah.
not
Mhm.
hunched over and Eddie's drum kit. So it was
Yeah.
a very
We-
spacious
We
setup.
have
Yeah.
never played in a room that big before.
We're usually swimming in cords, like microphone
Oh.
cables just like everywhere, and
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
there's
well,
a charm to that too.
yeah, you
True.
guys have played Lavender Room,
Mm-hmm.
Area 54, The Soup, as mentioned.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You played a spot in Binghamton, which we talked about.
Mhm.
What has been your experience performing, and how do you guys feel like it's changed over time? Have you improved? Or you've gotten way, way worse?
Yeah, I feel like
Considerably worse.
I'm getting definitely
Depends.
more comfortable because I remember like it was I want to say it was like our third show at Area 54, and my bass amp was like giving me
Spotty.
troubles. Like it just I've learned now like you can't just leave it in the car for like overnight when it's freezing because. Or at least if you do, you have to let it warm up for a long time because I just like took it out of my car, turned it on, and it was just dead not working at all. And we were all set up and everybody was like silent and just like watching us. And I'm like, my bass am's not working. Nothing's working. Can someone get Corey? Because Corey was running that show, the guitarist of Star Juice.
Okay.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh, gotcha.
Because his other band, Coma Ghost, was playing.
Yeah, they're great.
Love.
Yes, super love. And yeah, that was really stressful and definitely was like a low point, I would say. Each show is like just like a different vibe
Yeah.
that you just gotta catch and roll with.
You gotta ride
Yeah,
the wave.
definitely.
I don't know. I think we've gotten better. There's certain things I've learned, like, making sure your guitar is on before the song starts.
Yeah, that
That's
happened
a
last
huge
show.
one.
Yeah. We had a show one time where the song was about, thank God it happened in the beginning, but like there was like a power strip or something in the crowd and someone leaned up on a wall and it cut all the signal to my guitar.
It was not your fault.
And
It's a nightmare.
I like was panicking because I thought my guitar like rig was messed up.
Technically, you didn't say it.
That's salvageable.
I think.
Nope, did not.
My favorite thing is to watch the fixing of like sitting up proper and
Yes, yes. As if like the body language is gonna change. Like what just happened?
You need to
No,
clean
I
up that
didn't.
posture.
I messed up.
Clean up that posture, you clean up your mind.
I also like noticed like with certain shows, like the energy beforehand, like when you hype, like sometimes I hype it up, like we did our first like little mini tour in August and we basically took it to Philly.
Yeah.
And so there was like a lot of lead up and expectation for like the show in Philly. Like we gotta bring it, whatever. And like honestly, I feel like we played our worst that night. Like one of our worst performances. Energy was not there. Like just kind of flopped. Like there's this one really big solo that Ned does in Neolithic Talking Box, and like I don't know, like usually like people are like like they
Super
clap
hype,
for it,
yeah.
and like he did his crazy solo going ham as heck, and and he finishes and it's just like silence, just, all right, back into it, like it's okay. But like before that show, we played that show in Bing. And it was like our best show ever.
Best show you've ever played.
I kind of had low expectations. I was like, yeah,
Me
it's just
too.
like a house venue at like in a college town, like. But it was like amazing energy, packed out. Everybody was just in such good spirits, and yeah. So you just like can't really have too much expectations for a show, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's like super, for me, like dependent on interactions with the other bands before the show and interactions with the crowd. I feel like I've talked about it, but like in a different way before, about like not taking it so seriously. Like there's totally like a time to take things seriously, but I think I do the best when people are just like hanging out, and
Yeah.
that was like totally the vibe
Yeah.
in Binghamton.
That was the
like,
vibe today. You guys brought that.
Yeah,
vibe.
definitely.
I wasn't nervous at all. I
No,
was
yeah,
like,
we're chilling.
Oh.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
That helps a lot, I think.
Would you say that Binghamton performance has been your favorite so far?
For me,
or-
it was. Yeah.
Or it's between that or the first show.
The first show was
'cause-
awesome because we were just like, and so
Yeah.
many bad things happened. We played Butterflies here, our first song that we played with that super long intro.
Yeah.
Within the first 10 seconds of like vocals beginning, I stepped on the mic cord and yanked it out, and I had no sound. But they just kept
Wow.
playing, and I was
There's footage.
scrambling on the floor and plugged it back in and just like hopped back into it. But at least
That's
Right.
wild.
I was mortified,
Wow.
but it was kind of perfect. Like it was our first show. We were sloppy,
Yeah.
and it was also a celebration though. So we were just hyped, It
And
was
there,
still fun.
there were so many people that were there that like we all hold near and dear
Oh,
to
yeah,
our hearts.
that was
Like,
the best
they were
part.
all of our friends,
course.
all
Friends,
of each of our
family,
friends
yeah.
pretty much were there, so it just felt great.
Our last show was recorded by this guy who runs an I don't know his name, but he runs a
Is it
YouTube.
Lake Erie
Lake
Monster?
Erie
Lake
Monster.
Erie
Yes.
Monster.
Yes.
Shout out to
Uh,
him.
Records everything.
Love
He-
Lake Erie Monster.
He recorded our show, and that particular show, I had like maybe 2 or 3 small little mess ups, and I like after the show, I was like sitting in the parking lot with Calvin, and I was like, man, I just want to play a show where I don't mess up at all. and Calvin was like, giving me words of encouragement, like, "Oh, it's okay, man, it's okay." And I was like, I wasn't super bummed, but I was like, man, I hope no one noticed. But then I watched the recordings and like it wasn't a big deal.
It's fine.
Like,
Totally fine.
It's usually how it goes.
Yeah.
it
You
happened
all
and
are
it
so
passed.
good at troubleshooting. Let me just tell you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Not the first time we broke in a string during a performance. Like
We-
our
First show, we
first
broke a
show,
string.
we broke a string.
I broke a string on the one
was
song I
you?
play on guitar. I broke a string. Austin was like, "You don't need to strum that hard. Like, do not need to go that hard."
But I made sure to tell Calvin before that show to bring his guitar,
Yeah.
so that I
Yeah.
could do the swap quick. So
Well, I wanted to switch a little bit into another project that you guys have. You have a zine. It's called No Way Zine. What inspired
way.
you? What inspired you to get into that and to collaborate on that?
Well, me as an artist, I feel like I thrive working with another artist because it's just like dual motivation and like inspiration. And so when I met Calvin and I saw their art, I was immediately like, oh my God, like this person is extremely talented. So we would just like hang out, and I don't remember like who suggested the zine first, but
Probably you.
probably me. Yeah, that's pretty likely.
You're
but
just a very proactive artist.
I try to be. But yeah, so we just like started doodling and drawing on pages together. And then when we finished it, we were simultaneously creating the band. And I was like, we should like just shift this and make it like a band zine. And we already finished the zine before we really melded all four of us. Or else we all would have been contributing. But that's what our next zine, No Way Zine 2, which is coming out
The sequel.
The
probably
sequel.
in like a couple months, I would say, has literally all of us contributing together, which is how it
Awesome.
should be,
Yeah.
because we're all visual artists. Yeah, so it's like a band zine, and I love melding the idea, like just melding visual arts with our sound. It just like comes together naturally. It makes sense, and just to create like a overall like bigger project, bigger than just like music, bigger than just an album on Spotify. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know that Jordan and I have talked about it a bunch, but all of you are visual artists, and we love your work.
Phenomenal.
It's absolutely
Phenomenal
gorgeous.
stuff.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
We're always like looking for like bands that have somebody that makes posters
Yeah.
or album covers, and we're like,
we got
I'm like,
lucky.
get ready, because there's 4 of them and they all do great stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So
He literally texted me, "Prepare to be blown."
I just wanted to talk about the zine for a little bit. I didn't contribute to the first one, but I am
Yeah.
contributing to this next one. I feel like it's kind of the way I kind of view my own art in a way is kind of like I think of myself, and just when I look at all of it together, and especially with the zine, it's going to be not just my work, it's going to be everyone's work. It's kind of creating a environment, an atmosphere for the ideas to kind of exist in. And, I believe that, you have your name, I'm Austin, but like you can visually express those types of things. And I think like with everyone's style is so different from each other, and
Yeah.
like
Very
it's kind of
identifiable.
like just kind of creating an entourage collage of just visual symbols and imagery. But yeah, when I look at my stuff, at least I like to think of it as me. You know what I mean? So with this zine, it's like this zine, it's just us.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm sure I will be mind blown again.
It's like it says what the music can't, It says like
Right.
visual things, and it also like, at risk of sounding a little heady, like it creates an atmosphere for like the music or us to exist in, which I like. I like that.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's really cool that even though you guys are all your own people, you connect on things. Like you all are artists. You all write songs. Like
Yeah, on so many levels.
3 out of the 4 of you are doing vocals on the songs also live. So it just seems like there's a lot of similarity between the 4 of you, but differences too that makes it really intriguing to the listener.
It's literally taking like the word collaboration as far as you possibly
It's like
can.
you guys could have done like 3 different bands with
Yeah.
the same people and, you know, one vocalist for each, but I love that it's just all together and it's just like, whoa,
Yeah.
there's another one.
And we write music like all together. Like, you know, we write music in band practice. It's kind of hard. We've struggled with bringing outside like someone writing and then coming into a band practice. We write most naturally when we're jamming and we're like, I like that, do it again. Like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
very cool that you guys found each other like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the day it happened. Me and Nice were hanging out, and Koala and Calvin were hanging out separately. And I got a text from Calvin like, hey, like, Koala wants to jam. And I was like, all right, I can do that. Like, when? I don't know. I
Little
remember.
do we know, though.
I remember like the whole talk of it becoming a band. I remember feeling weird about it,
Well-
but then I started to like. I was like, okay, yeah. I was like, I think it was because we had that time frame to make the songs for our first show, and I was like, I'm a, like kind of a perfectionist, at least when it comes to my visual art.
Okay.
Fall,
So I'm like,
yeah.
if I'm presenting something, I have to have it.
Yeah.
It has to be. It has to be cool to me.
Yeah.
Before-
Yeah.
So
It
it ended up working out completely though, which was really cool. So
Yeah.
I wanted to come in and ask a question.
Go for it.
Chime in. Hello, I'm Sebastian. I was gone, but now I'm back. Yeah. So it's about the internet.
Okay.
I foreshadowed
Oh, yeah, I
it.
forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
Straighten up. Get that posture ready. This is the internet we're talking about. The internet is here.
Internet.
I was just wondering, like, I think it's fun. It's a fun question. Like, what do you guys have a video or even a picture, but video from the internet that you guys can all collectively agree on? That's like, I don't know, or just something from the internet. Give me something crazy. Like, what's your favorite video from the internet? Because we've gotten some
That's
wild
so
ones.
hard, dude.
I
What's
know.
like what are some that we all
And I'm sorry to add, because I know you guys have been like the music,
I know.
like trying to come up
Yeah.
with some. I
I
can't
mean,
do that either. Like,
I could just.
What's that one TikToker?
oh,
What
Please,
is it?
please.
Oh,
We
it's
need
Give me more.
that.
Give me more.
Oh, you like it's like slopper. Undertime
Oh,
slopper.
Undertime
I know,
Slopper,
Undertime
dude.
slopper.
Oh, I hope I didn't get toad.
Better yet, you're getting frogged.
What do you want? I don't have much.
I'm gonna need 300 flies.
Closing in 30 seconds.
I love underline slobber.
That's a great one.
I don't know what you're
I
talking
love
about.
It's
Undertime
such
slobber.
a literally such a deep cut. Like
I
no
love
one has seen
Undertime
this
slobber.
TikTok except for us. It's just
I think
like,
there's a good he's got a good following. He's just like a
Okay.
very weird visual artist on TikTok who does like extremely short, super strange videos. They're very funny.
Okay.
Just
think
be a
we
dude
all-
walking in a wood in the
Oh.
woods, and the frog will like hop up.
I don't
and he'll be like, "Whoa, where'd you come from?" And you go, "You're getting frogged."
Oh,
And then
they
I
always-
know what you're talking
and
about.
they
It's like-
always ends with I love Undertime slobber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. Like it's just some weird thing. Like and
It's like,
great.
yeah, we could
I
either
can't wait
pick
to see
something
that.
really like pretentious and heady, or just like TikToks. It's like one of it's like
A little bit of both.
some in both
Yeah.
camps for sure.
I thought, when you said internet, the first thing that came to my mind, there's like this artist that does animations that me and Calvin really like, and he does like I think he was the first person to do this because nowadays a lot of people are doing it, but his name's World for Jack.
Oh man,
And
Shout
he
out.
does these
Yes.
really, really cool like PS1 graphic animations, but
like
like
3 years ago he was doing this.
no, yeah, he was doing it like because now a lot of people are kind of doing that style, but like I found him because I love skateboarding.
Okay.
And they're Fancy Lad Skateboards. Like I think he's friends with those guys. So he did like a lot of cool animations for their skate videos, and I found him through there. And I showed Calvin, and I was like, dude,
Number one, I
This guy's
think
crazy.
most criminally underrated, like does not have nearly enough attention person. World, it's like world number 4, Jack on YouTube.
Okay.
You gotta see.
Yes.
It's so cool.
Must see.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for both of the things you guys have.
I have. Well, this isn't really related to the necessarily the internet, but like our drummer Nettie's is also extremely well versed and knowledgeable and passionate about comics.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Has
yeah.
a giant collection. Knows so much, and I feel like we just like we all love R. Crumb a lot.
Old school.
I know we've connected on
Underground comic stuff.
Okay.
what's
Gotcha.
Shel Silverstein and like his illustrations,
For sure.
Calvin and Hobbes, and like that new book that the Calvin Hobbes artist came out with
Mysteries or the Mystery.
is really, really
Yeah,
cool.
Bill Watterson came out of retirement. If you're into Calvin and Hobbes, this is your announcement. He came out of retirement
Okay.
Oh,
after
shit.
15
Wow.
years.
That's
It's
crazy.
a crazy book.
It's nothing like Calvin and
Nothing like
Hobbes.
it. It's very
Let me
cool.
tell you.
Me and Nettie's love Frank Frazetta and a lot of fantasy art and stuff like that. So
When I met Calvin, this isn't really that related, but when I met Calvin, they were doing like a puppet show with our mutual friend Cameron Vizone, and that was an awesome thing. Like
Yeah.
playing with little puppets on like a projector,
overhead projector.
and yeah, I don't know why. I
Slash
don't know
open
how that
mic.
related, but it just popped in my head, and I wanted to say it.
We got the internet and a whole
Yeah.
lot more.
Yeah.
Exactly what CJ asked for.
The amount of things I learned from like watching like bands and I'm like, oh, like looking stuff
Same,
up. Like
same.
that's just I love when people talk about like things that they're interested in.
Yeah, the things they love.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
if you like comics, cartoonist kayfabe. So
All right.
they dissect comic books and we'll talk about different processes like of how it was made, and they're like
That's
both
interesting.
comic artists. Yeah,
Interesting.
it's really cool. It's kind of like a podcast style thing, but they like have an above camera.
It's on
Oh,
YouTube.
gotcha.
You can find
Yeah.
it
It's
on
a really
YouTube.
cool show.
Yeah.
Love that.
Well, last question, unfortunately, but do you have any sort of releases, merch, any sort of news that you want anyone listening to hear about?
So right now we are sold out of our first scene, our last run, which is amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
I do believe there's 4 copies at Boring Girls, which is a used clothing store, like antique store, at 567 Exchange Street. Just look her up on Instagram, Boring Girls. So if you wanted to go snag those, do that. Besides that, we've got Noe Zine 2 on the way, and I would say our next project's gotta be an album, I think.
probably.
All right,
So
all
like a
right.
full, we've been writing songs, so
How many tracks we
that's
looking
gonna be
at?
the thing.
We have like 9 songs.
Early
including
development
the
right
EP
now.
Or something like that.
Yeah, how many songs do we have? Like, yeah, probably
Like
like
9 or
9
Is
total.
Whale
All
Song
right,
getting on
all
there?
right.
I think so.
Probably.
Is that the last song you guys played?
Yeah.
I love
Yes.
that.
Thank you.
you.
Me too.
That's nice.
I'm super intent on getting that on there. I love that
I
one.
saw the
Yeah.
distinct head nod.
Calvin approved.
Yes.
I
Just
also
want it to be
think
known.
I'd also would love for us to do another tour in the summer.
That'd be cool.
We can get that
We had so
together.
much fun.
Yeah.
Sonder.
The Sonder.
Shout out Sonder
Shout out
Inn
to Sonder
in
in
Philadelphia.
an apartment style hotel that we
It was
stayed
like
in.
super bougie. We could Austin paid for it all.
Yeah, we kept
We were just lit as hell.
we kept
just
going
loved
like,
it so
"Oh,
much.
I can't wait to get back to the Sonder.
Sonder.
We loved
Every
it
time
more
we go
than
into a
any
dusty
show.
like
Yeah.
DIY basement,
Yeah.
you're like, ah.
Nothing
place
like
had
the
the-
Sonder.
It was like a floor shower, you know what I mean? Where the shower's just on the floor with a drain in the ground. It was
Yeah.
like that type thing. We were like, whoa.
We were living
We
in
were so
large
hyped.
in Philly.
All right. Well, that concludes another episode of the Local Lowdown. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it.
Thank you guys.
Thank you
It's
so
been
much for
awesome.
having
Of
us.
And thank you for tuning into the Local Lowdown on 88.9 WCVF The Voice and 89.5 WDVL The Inferno. We'll be back with some more bizarre local music. Same time.
Same place. Bye.
It is lovely, kick surf sidewalks with the heels of shoes of